Most e-commerce founders are scaling by gut, not true numbers. They don't know exactly what will happen to their profit if they double their ad spend in the next month. In this video, I'll show you the exact internal financial dashboard that we build out for our 7-8-figure partners to help them scale without burning cash. Because at the end of the day, revenue feeds the ego and profit, that feeds your family. So the reason that most e-commerce brands fail isn't because they're creating bad ads, it's because they're not mapping out their financials, right? As an e-commerce brand, you're dealing with so many things all at once, and bad math can crush your brand financially. Just 4 years ago, I actually graduated with a degree in finance. I thought I was going down the finance route, but I started this e-commerce growth agency in my dorm room. So I always love talking about the intersection of finances and marketing, because obviously to scale a brand to 7-8 figures, you need to make sure that you're disciplined financially and being aggressive on the marketing side to actually scale. So here's a simple example. Let's say you generate $100,000 of revenue in a single month, but you spent $40,000 on ads, and let's just say you have 40% cost of goods sold, and you had 10% discounts on those sales. Yeah, you made $100,000 in sales, but the profit is almost nothing. And if you don't have a place to forecast and plan out exactly how your profitability will be impacted by your marketing efforts, you are flying blind. So that's why I want to introduce our growth dashboard. So this is the growth dashboard. Now I filled it in with some dummy data that's based off some real client examples here, just to give you guys an idea of exactly how this works and how we can actually look at the things that matter, not just top line revenue or ROAS here. So this is the main view, which is the growth P&L. When we work with a brand, we want to have this main dashboard that we look at. We can also build out a growth P&L comparison. We can also build out some targets here on break even, 10% profit targets and stuff like that. We can also build out 2024 so we can have a reference of how last year went compared to this year. Then these ones right here, the DE, these are all actually live data that feeds through to this. Now, this is the secret sauce. We use a platform called Supermetrics to pull all the data from our ad accounts, from Shopify, from Klaviyo, literally all the data into this sheet. So that actually helps us update this live. Now, you don't need Supermetrics to, do this all for you. We have that set up so it can automatically update for the brands that we work with. But long story short, the main page or sheet that I want you to focus on is this one. So right here, let's go through each column and how we look at, or each row, and talk about how we actually use these to make educated decisions and actually focus on profit. So up at the top here, you see gross sales. Obviously that's top line revenue. We also want to include discounts, your returns, so you can get net sales. Net sales is calculated by gross sales minus discounts minus returns. Again, it's good to see too, because a lot of brands do think like heavy discounting will help their brand. So you can see every single row here, you can make decisions on your marketing. You see, okay, how does it actually impact the entirety of the business, right? Because maybe you start discounting heavily and you think, oh yeah, revenue is pumping up, and then you see it totally tanks your net profit. So we need to make sure that we track these things and we see how does it impact the business. So overall, most agencies, most people just running their ads are only looking in the ad platform metrics. They're only looking at Facebook, Google, etc. We want to look at how this impacts the Shopify and e-commerce channel overall. So COGS is a calculation of the cost of goods sold, right? So how much it actually costs you, your unit economics on these products. I always recommend to have this information in Shopify so you can automatically pull this pretty darn easily. But this allows you to see how much the product actually costs you as a business. From here, you have gross profit, which is just net sales minus your cost of goods sold to get gross profit here. This brand has extremely high margins. Typically, we don't see margins as high as this, but for this example, it is what it is here. Total ad spend, this gives us a total ad spend across Meta, Google, and other platforms. You can get that all here. Again, if you want to break this down, you can always make it more detailed if you want to get like Google, Meta, and then have a total there. But again, we're really focusing on omni-channel at this point. We do other things that focus on the performance of individual channels, but we really want to look at things from a holistic standpoint. That's the purpose of this growth dashboard. Then we have TVG fees, so what our client actually pays us. Yep, the average partner pays us between $7,500 plus a month to work with us. So just a rough average there. Everything we do is custom. If you want a custom roadmap and audit of your brand, then I'll leave a link down below to schedule that call. This doesn't mean that it'll be $7,500 for your brand, but it's just an average that I threw in just to use this sheet. Next, we have other marketing expenses. So software, softwares, anything else that you want to include. Maybe you have some freelancers or something. You can include that. Actually, other marketing expenses, typically we like to say that is 100% correlated to marketing. So like a software. OpEx is where you can include maybe, your freelancers or labor or employees a part of this company. But this is a mean and lean 7-figure brand. It's founder led, so there's no operational expenses apart from the cost from all of these metrics here. So pretty darn profitable, as you can see. Comes out on this right here to $42,000, which is 42% net profit, which is insane. The average e-commerce brand that we work with is shooting for above like 10 to 28% margin. This brand specifically has very hard margins and is crushing it. Okay, from here we can look at, so this is basically the quick like growth marketing P&L, and then we can look at the KPIs, the omni-channel KPIs. So the ones that we want to look at is average order value. Obviously that is, the average amount that customers are spending with us on a given month. Then we have new customers. So in Shopify, it will tell us how many new customers do we actually get in that month. And then this is important. We calculate what is our new customer acquisition cost. So what that is how many new customers do we get, right? What was the ad spend divided by how many new customers we got in that month, right? And yes, even if we're spending a little bit on retargeting or not all your budget is going towards new customer acquisition, although it should be, this gives us an idea of a blended, good idea, conservative net new customer acquisition costs. And yes, this includes organic channels, this includes other things, 100%. The whole purpose here is to get omni-channel metrics, because if these are screwed up or if these are super high, then we have to go into the weeds and figure out what is going wrong. Like I said, we always look at the platforms individually, but again, the point of this video is to make sure we're looking at the North Star of profitable growth. Next is 1-year lifetime value. Depending on the brand we work with, this brand is not exactly a high lifetime value brand. As you can see, a 1-year LTV is not that much higher than the AOV, and that's something that we're looking to improve. How can we maximize the value of these customers? But for brands that might sell like supplements or CPG or consumables or any monthly subscription type things, we might look at a 3-month LTV, or we might look at a 6-month LTV. You can structure this however you want to calculate what lifetime value you want to look at and what truly is like a good North Star metric to base success on, because we work with some brands that are at a loss on the front end and they have a high lifetime value. So what does that look like? So that's how we can get the lifetime value to CAC, right? This is just lifetime value divided by new customer acquisition costs. You can see it's a 3.54. You can also run a quick analysis on lifetime gross profit. The way you'd calculate that is you go to the lifetime value, and then you would basically say, multiply this by your gross profit margin, and then divide that by CAC. That gives you a better idea of profitability, because obviously this takes into account your cost of goods sold. So just another pro tip right there. Now for retention, really just talking about email and SMS here, the main metrics that we want to track are net list growth, Klaviyo orders, Klaviyo revenue, total revenue attribution, right? So how fast is our list growing? Because we can then tie that back to spend and see how traffic increases and how much our list is growing. So it's net list growth, so how many people joined our list minus people that unsubscribed. Klaviyo orders, how many orders individually or how many orders do we actually get on Klaviyo in that month. Klaviyo revenue, what's reported in Klaviyo, and then total revenue attribution that Klaviyo is showing us. So again, this gives us a really, really good idea of the health of the company overall. Some companies are hyper scale. They're dumping a ton of cash. They want to scale to $1 million a month as fast as possible. Other brands want to cash flow or want to bootstrap their company. So it's really important for us when we're working with a brand from a holistic standpoint that we get on the same page, because some agencies or some team members or whoever you work with, they might have different expectations of your goals. So we want to make sure we understand those goals, track the metrics that actually matter, and then map out a growth roadmap to actually hit those things, right? So from here, you can take all this data and then build financial models on targets, right? If this brand wants to hit $300,000 a month, okay, let's build out that model. What will spend likely look like? What will our operational expenses look like? Is there going to be changes, right? That way we can be on the same page of what it actually takes to scale, because brands come on and they talk to me and say, well, we want to scale to 500K a month, but they don't understand the path to get there. This helps us track our performance and build a data-driven plan. So if you'd like me to personally audit your brand and start to map out some of these metrics and figure out, okay, where there's opportunities for growth, I'll leave a link down below to book in your call. I'll also, a video will pop up on the screen. That's a full training on our approach of how we actually work with brands to help them scale. And if you'd like to see more trainings just like this, then definitely subscribe, as I release trainings every single week on how to scale your e-commerce brand. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys in the next video.